Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to our little homestead patch. Originally my plan today consisted of housework because the weather was supposed to be rainy all day, warm but rainy. And so I figured this wouldn't be a good day to get out into the garden. But as you can see from the blue sky behind me, sorry about that, my son has his dirt bike out, that it is a beautiful day. So I'm going to try to get some of my projects done today that I've been wanting to get done. It's just been too cold and wet to do. So some of the projects that are on my to-do list over the next couple weeks are first this area. This area is where I plan on putting my viney type plants like the pumpkins and watermelon and cantaloupe, that type of thing, so they can run along this whole length at the back side of the garden. We do have a tiller. It's a wheel horse tiller, and in my zealousness to get my fence up, I guess I didn't think things through, because it would have been a lot easier for him just to till this area. But because we already have the fence up and I already have some plants here growing by the gate, I just can't get the tiller in here again, and so now I have to do this by hand. So another area that I want to work in is this area right here. Down along that fence is where I'm going to put my bush beans, but this area here I'd like to put some color in. So I have a bleeding heart. I want to put it in the middle, and then I'd like to get some vining, climbing rose bushes to go up along either side, just to kind of fill that fence area in. What you doing, Tankers? That's our old boy Tank. He's the oldest of the four. Last week it was quite warm out, or about 2 weeks ago. It was really warm, so I thought, okay, frost might be over. So I had my little sunflowers upstairs that I had started from seed. So I said, okay, I'll bring those out and I'll plant them. Well, and then the frost came. I planted them on the northern side, outside of my garden, along the fence, just so they wouldn't block the sun from the other plants. And so there's a few of them that are doing okay, and then there are others that are not. So my plan, take out the ones that aren't doing good. Then in the northern two corners of my garden, here and down at that corner, just put maybe 4 or 5 plants, direct sow them in, and just kind of see what type of sunflowers I get like that. I really don't think I will start them inside anymore after this year. It was just too much. A lot of them got bent stalks, and it was just, they didn't have enough room. And so where we live in 5A, I really don't think I need to start them inside. But yeah, as you can see, some of them are just not happy at all. Some of them look really nice, but like I said, the stalk is all bent, so I'm not really sure if they'll straighten back up. This is my first year growing sunflowers. This little guy here is just angry as all. Another project before I can get my summer crops out. This first row over here is planted with spring stuff already, but these other rows need to be raked out. They were tilled in, but they still need to be raked out, and just kind of check the levels and amend them if need be, so I can get them ready to put in my summer crops. So there's another project. To mention, I still have the herb garden that I am working on. So as you can see, I have a lot of projects to get done before my garden will be in full swing. I'm pretty excited to see what it's going to look like in another couple months. I'm very anxious for it. Obviously, I'm not going to get all these projects done today. I'm going to start with priority and get that bleeding heart in the ground, because that's really needs to get outside and in the ground. And then I'm going to work on getting the pumpkin and watermelon patch all tilled up and all that sod out of there, and just kind of see. All right, everyone, I've been working on that to-do list for about 2 hours now. Now, before I show you my accomplishments, I just want to preface it with a little story. So I might have mentioned once or twice that I can be a little impatient. Patience is a virtue, and it's a virtue that I believe I will be working on for the rest of my life. So when we put this fence up, the hubby might have asked me once or twice, "Are you sure you don't want me to till that area up for you before we put the fence up?" And in my zealousness, I'm like, "Oh no, I can take care of that. I'll just go ahead and, use the pitchfork and a shovel and get the sod off, and we'll be fine." Well, after about 30 minutes with the pitchfork and shovel, I learned Two things. One, that ground's never been tilled before, so that is a lot of work. And two, sometimes the hubby might be right. So this is the area I worked on for about 30 minutes. I got probably a 4x4 area. So after sweating and tears, I went and talked to the hubby. And so when we put the fence up, obviously one whole roll didn't do this. So right here on this one pole, right in the back where I need to till, is where we connected it. So this weekend he is going to disconnect it and bring the tiller in here and till up as much as he can, because whatever he can do, I don't have to do by hand. So I am thankful for that, and next time I might just listen to him instead of being so impatient. So I did get my bleeding heart in, and like I said, the plan was to put a rose here. Right there's the bleeding heart, and then another rose here, but then I remembered I had some stargazer lilies, and so I put my 3 bulbs in there, which they were already sprouting in the pack. And then what I also did was, this area here is where I'm putting my bush beans, and so this area has been tilled before, so it wasn't as bad. So I did use a pitchfork a couple weeks ago and turned over the sod and broke it all up and fed the other, the big chunks of sod to the chickens. And then I let it sit for a couple weeks. I had watched a video by M.I. Gardner, who said to prepare the bed, then let it sit for a couple weeks to allow all the weeds to come back up, which, I mean, there wasn't many, but there was some. So I went through here today and I cleaned out all the weeds, so that way it'll be ready to plant soon. I did get about 6 sunflowers planted over in that corner, and then I put down some cardboard right along the back here and some hay. I'm not planning on really planting anything in there this year. I just want to kind of get the ground ready because it's never been tilled or mulched or anything. As far as that end, which I'm going to put over here in that corner, I'm going to put a few more sunflowers. I'm going to wait for him to till it all up this weekend, and then I'll only have to do what I have to do by hand over in that area. And then way back there, that little Houdini chicken gets out all the time. She is the only one, and she loves my compost pile. Did that, I decided that I would work on my herb garden a little bit. I did put my grapes out there. Yeah, I know there's a door in a random place in our house. I'm not really sure. But they're hardening off, so hopefully this weekend, maybe by Sunday, I can get them out with the other bigger vine. Along the back there, those are hostas that I planted last year. I transplanted them and split them up, so they're coming out great. So some of the herbs that I planted, most of these, except for the one that my cousin over at Living Faith Homestead had given me, came from either a plant store or, in the case of some parsley, and that mint over there actually came from the grocery store, and the live herbs that you can buy. So this one here is an After 8. It's a chocolate mint. And then over here is just a mint that you would get in the live herbs at your local grocery store. I have some dill and some chives. This one right here is the amethyst basil. I cannot wait to see that nice and big. That one and that one over there, and then way down on the end there's another parsley that just came from our local grocery store. My daughter loves parsley. She puts it in and on everything. And then here we have the curled parsley. These ones here are the Italian parsley. And then more chives, more dill. This is the little oregano plant that my cousin at Living Faith Homestead had given me. I did plant oregano and some herbs upstairs. I do have a couple babies up there, but they're just not looking good. I don't know what I did wrong. And then this one here is my lavender. It's a Homestead lavender. It smells wonderful. I cannot wait for it to get bigger. Hopefully it's not too invasive, but so that is the herb garden. And I've mentioned him a few times. I figured I'd show you. This is Duke. Where you going, Duke? There you are. That is my daughter's bunny. He is a Flemish Giant Lop mix. So he's probably about a year old. He was born like almost a year old. Like late last spring, early summer. But he just loves it outside. We leave him out here during the day if it's nice out, and then he has a pen in the house that he goes in at night. He's just a freak. But he's the only one we have. So those were the things that I got done today. It's almost 4 o'clock now, and my mom just called and the hot tub's up and running, and I think I'm gonna go over there for a little bit and enjoy that and work my sore muscles out. All right, you guys have a blessed day.